Hi guys, and welcome back to Chengi's World. It's so good to see you guys. I am always looking forward to spending some time with you. It's so good. So today I want to talk to you guys about testing your partner, testing your date, testing your partner, testing the situation with your partner, and why it's not a great idea. Okay, so before I go any further, make sure you subscribe if you're new to this channel, and welcome to Chengi's World. Yes, it's on and popping up in here. So welcome indeed to Chengi's World, and make sure you join me on Instagram, Chengi's World, and Facebook, Chengi's World. Simples. Okay, meet me on both those platforms. Make sure you ask me any questions, and we'll get to know each other a little bit better, because I post stuff that is a bit more about me. For those of you who are interested in knowing me, the things I like, the things I do, whatever, following me on my life's journey as a whole person, you can join me on those platforms. But also feel free to send me questions if you've got any questions, or to send me letters on any of those platforms discussing anything of that is bothering you, or something that you need clarity with. I'm always happy to respond to you guys. So thank you so much for watching. So today we're talking about testing someone. So I was talking to one of my girlfriends, and she says to me, you know, she did something. I don't quite remember what it is that she did, but it seemed very innocent on the surface, and I sort of turned around to her and I said, "You're testing him, weren't you?" She said, "Yeah, I kind of was." You know, and I said, "And he failed, right?" "Yeah." And I said, "Look, one thing that we don't ever do in relationships, and one of the things that I'm totally advising you guys never to do in any kind of relationship, is to test your partner." There's a reason for it. The dating process is not a testing process, it's an assessment process. Your job is to assess him in every natural life situation. I remember a girlfriend of mine who was seeing this guy, good looking guy. They were both bankers. He was really chasing her for absolute months, and eventually he persuaded her to go for drinks with him. Good looking guy, everything to offer. So they go together and they go to have drinks, and what happens is she got a bit of something on my hair. It's really annoying. Sorry about that. So anyway, they go out for drinks, and they have a great time, and he asks her out again, and she's thinking, you know what, I wish I'd given him more of a chance earlier, because we had a really great time. We have so much in common, and you know, it's going to be fantastic. So long story short is, he invited her out to drinks, but now what he decided to do was to test her. So he invited his better looking friend, who was also a banker and just as good looking, or better looking apparently, and so he brings her along. I think part of it was to show off to his friend, but another part was to see whether or not she would be the right whether she would flirt with him, because obviously he knows that this guy is in his life, and he wants to see how the woman he's trying to date will respond to him. Long story short is, she swapped boys, okay, because she was that kind of girl, but also because the relationship was so shallow. They had only just met, and he was already putting her to the test. Now, we do it all the time because what is really driving us is a sense of insecurity. We want to make sure, 100% sure, that this person is this way. But the moment you do that, that person is going to fail. Why? No one gets tested for anything they've not been at least instructed on. They haven't, you know, you haven't instructed this person on what you think and what you want in the relationship. You haven't given them an instruction in order to test them to see if they've understood the instruction, and it's too early in the day to start giving instructions. So you have to expect that that person is going to fail. Now, he put her to the test to see whether or not she was loyal, but he had not built enough foundations. He had not allowed her to really get to know him. And so when she moved on to the friend, and the friend moved on with her, there was nothing there to stop them, because, well, you've only been on one day with her, now you brought her to me for us to have this thing. So she's a mate, really, and she's game for everyone. And obviously she was more attracted to him. She spent most of the night speaking to his friend, and you know what she said to me afterwards? She's like, what does he expect? That was really juvenile, immature of him to bring his good, better looking friend to the party when we've just met. And of course he went away with a broken heart and all kind of crazy. And of course, he had to deal with it because you have introduced an element into the equation that was never necessary in the first place. Oh, I want to see if he's mean. Let's put him to the test. Look, you don't need to figure out if a guy is mean by putting him to the test, whether he will spend money on you by putting him to the test. You will naturally see if a guy is generous or not when you go out. You will see in your natural life and your natural experiences, and you'll be able to, how does he, does he leave a tip when you've had, when you've gone out to dinner? If he does leave a tip, how much of it does he leave? Does he leave something generous, or is he going through his purse checking for the coins so he can put just about enough, or is he checking the bill out to make sure that they've done the service charge and just too much? And you can tell if somebody is mean or a little bit, or a good steward of their money, by how they are in the natural day-to-day experience. You can tell a lot through natural experiences. And what we do is we ignore the natural experiences and we don't assess somebody through the natural experience. We just start to put tests. I remember watching The Millionaire Matchmaker, and this really rich guy, and this is the thing that guys do, is that they test for the gold digger. You can't test for the gold digger, really. There are things that you can notice, but you can't really test for a gold digger, because a woman who is after your money, or somebody who is after deceiving you, they have mastered the art of deception. They have mastered a way of getting stuff out of you without you feeling like it's being taken out of you, until you look back and you think, I actually never got anything out of that situation. These are women and who are masterful at what they do. They're masterful at it, and anyone that falls prey into their hands will be a victim, whether you test them or not. Just as men who are controlling and abusive are masterful at attracting the woman and breaking her down masterfully. So it's not about testing them, it's about observing and assessing. That is the whole process. So he decided that he wanted to make sure that she wasn't into him for his money, so he decided that he would test her, and he would pick her up in a I think he had a collection business where he picked up people's rubbish from the garages and cleared it up, whatever. So on their first date, he took her to clear up somebody's back garage, and then he decided to be nice to her and take her to dinner somewhere nice and special. But he showed up at her house in a garbage collection something. I mean, it was ridiculous. And obviously Patty was like, "What? You don't do that." But I have been on dates with guys who are very wealthy, and they feel that they have to test to see whether I'm a gold digger or not. You can never actually get to the bottom of that. What you will do is lose a genuinely great person. The moment you test somebody, they're going to lose, because they're not expecting it. They're not in a position where they can give you the result that you're hoping to get, because the bottom line is they're not expecting that. So you sitting there setting a trap for the person that you were dating in order to secure yourself, or to satisfy yourself that this person is safe, is in fact foolishness. Wisdom allows somebody to show you who they are naturally over a process and a period of time. You have to allow time and contact to do its natural work, because a pathological liar will lie to you for 9 months. A professional liar can do that for about a year, and then after that the story starts to break down. So you need to give somebody time, because what you will a failure in a test today, that girlfriend of mine going off with the other guy was not necessarily saying she's a slut, or that she's gonna run off with any guy that you introduce her to. What that was saying is she's a single girl, and she's been given 2 options. She's taken the one that she prefers. Had she not been presented with that test, these two would have been in a happy relationship. They would have bonded at a deeper level, and this better looking friend would have not had as much, she wouldn't have been interested in him so much. Same thing with us girls. Let me bring my man around my pretty friends and see if he checks them out, and then I'll know if he's a good guy or not. That is not wisdom. That is setting yourself up, because the bond is not solid enough, it's not deep enough, it's not rooted enough for you to feel as though, for you to get to that point in your heart where you think to yourself, actually, yes, we are grounded and we are rooted enough for me to introduce him to my friends. And if you happen to meet your friends when you're going about your business, or you happen to be with your friends and he's meeting you after, that's a different situation. But if you are creating a set of circumstances around your man or your woman in order to see or to test them, it is a completely bad idea. Take it from me, bad, huge mistake. Don't do it. Don't ever test somebody in order to figure out what they like. Let it flow. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it go. So that's from me to you guys today, saying if you are thinking of testing someone, are in a position of testing someone, have tested somebody, you will be disappointed, because they will pretty much 99.9% of the time fail your test. And even if they pass that test today, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are what you think they are. Just because she would have possibly maybe not explored talking to the other guy and just kept to the one that she came with, doesn't mean that she's into him. It doesn't mean that. It just means that she probably wasn't as attracted to the other guy. So he might go away thinking, yeah, she's a solid girl, you know, she's decent. She would never just, I introduced her to my good-looking best friend on our second date and she didn't go off with him. Well, she hasn't met your other 20 friends. So whatever result that was supposed to bring, you know, the result is not that she's a faithful girlfriend. The result is she didn't fancy this one. Okay, if you're trying to check for a gold digger, the result is she didn't probably want what you were offering at that point. Maybe she didn't want that, but she might want something else. Maybe diamonds are not a thing. Maybe cars are. Maybe having her, you know, shoes are. So trying to test somebody and getting to the result early is complete foolishness. So don't do it. Okay, don't do it. That's from me to you, Chengi's World. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you on Instagram and Facebook. Guys, take care of yourself. Love you lots.